So what's going on, guys? GeneralGerbil here, and it seems like everybody in the zombies community has done one of these map tier lists where they rank their favourite maps and things like that, but I haven't yet. So I thought I'd give it a go, because obviously I've played most of the zombies maps. Given that there are a few I'm going to have to miss out. Ancient Evil, I'm going to have to miss that one out, and Dead of Night, I'm going to have to miss that one out, because I haven't played those two. I haven't played Ancient Evil at all. That was another video idea that I've got. And Dead of Night I have played, but I played it on release day and I played it for like 20 minutes and then I've never touched it again. So those two are going to be left out of it. Excuse me, but other than that, we're going to get started here. So I don't have to go from the bottom or the top. I know one thing for sure, this is going at the bottom. Did not like Shangri-La at all. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe the fact that I had just really bad experiences with the Easter egg on Xbox 360. It took me forever to find someone to do with. Really bad miscoordination on public matches. My friends never really played it. It is a hard map, and I appreciate it for that. It's very tight. It's anti-trainable is what I call it. It's an anti-trainable map. There's not really an area where you can hold down and train in for a long period of time, but I don't know, there's just something about the map. Maybe like activating the Pack-a-Punch, you have to step on those 4 things around the map. It's a bit annoying. I'm not a big fan of Shangri-La. I just tend to not play that map. So I'm going to pop that in the F1, and the other one I think I'm going to put there is Natch. Now, don't hate, I understand it's the first one. It kicked off the whole zombies thing. I get that, but maybe like World at War Natch, maybe like Black Ops and Black Ops 3 Natch would be like higher, maybe like sea level, because obviously the perks, but excuse me, I've got terrible throat issues. But I put Natch near the bottom just because it's very basic and there's a lot of issues with it. Obviously, I don't mind not playing with perks. I don't mind not playing with Pack-a-Punch, but the box, there's very limited guns in the box. There's very limited space where you can go. It takes forever for the first zombie to spawn and the first wave to be done with. It's very good atmospherically and world building, but as a map, I wouldn't sit down and purposely say, let's play Natch. It would be one of the bigger and better maps that we've got. I don't know. I popped those two at the bottom just because of kind of boringness, I guess. Again, World of War Natch more so than the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, because you can have loads more fun with the other ones, because obviously you got perks and things like that. But other than that, I don't really see any problems with putting those at the bottom. Like, I appreciate Natch should have been higher, but that's where I want to keep it. So in the E tier, I think I'm going to put one map, and that's Transit. Now, the reason why I put Transit higher than Natch and Shangri-La is because Transit was a really big map, and it was really kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not experimental. Oh, it was like, it tried to do a lot of things. It was really ahead of its time for the generation we were on. So we were on 360 and PS3 when Transit came out, and I thought what it tried to do was really good, and I do enjoy playing Transit from time and time again. It's a bit like Natch, like, I wouldn't purposely sit down and say, let's play Transit, but when I'm in it, I do enjoy it. The Easter egg was an absolute ball ache, which is one of the reasons why I've put it down so low. And also things, obviously, like the fog, the denizens, and the Avogadro and things like that. But they were, as we've discovered, like the fog was like a rendering thing, so we could get more map. But I put it also so low, but higher than those, because it was technically 4 maps in one, but that's another reason why it's so low, because it was 4 maps in one, and there were small areas. Like, you don't really spend a lot of time with power after you've put power on. Really, it's town that you chill in, or you're chilling at bus depot. You don't really, you mess with the box at diner, and you don't really do anything at farm unless you got a weapon in the fridge. Like, you just kind of chill there, get the bus part, and leave. So it was an ambitious map, was the word I was looking for. It was a very ambitious map, wasn't very well executed, but there were a lot of things like the bus and the lava and the fog and the denizens that just make it just unfun to play. Like, I don't want to spend 40 minutes running around a map while I've got nothing going on. So that's the only map I think I'm going to put in E tier, just because I think everything else above that has some oomph to it, I guess. So the next one I'm going to put here is 5. I did really enjoy 5, but again, it suffers the same problem as Natch. It's very small. It's not a lot to do. You know, you got the Witness Howl, which is the wonder weapon, but I'm going to rank 5 in with Classified, although Classified would probably go up into C tier, just because we don't have a Classified one, do we? No. Classified would probably go up into C tier just for that nostalgia reason of Pack-a-Punches at Groom Lake. I thought that was quite cool. and obviously you got the big Easter egg with the Winter's Howl and things like that. But 5 on its own, I really liked the concept of the map. I really liked how you were playing as like the presidential parties and you had JFK in that. The cutscene before it was amazing. This was actually the map that when I first started playing zombies, this was my favourite map. Nothing could beat that. I first started playing zombies at just after Black Ops 1 launched, so I had all of World at War to play with, and I had 5 and Kino and Dead Ops, obviously. And before anyone mentions, yes, I'm in my robe, my pyjamas, I just had a nap, but I wanted to record this, so I had 5 Kino, the World at War maps, and Dead Ops to choose from, but I used to play it a lot with my cousin, and my cousin and I would always play 5. We'd never get past like round 8 or anything like that, but we'd just keep playing and keep playing and keep playing. But it was a fun map, really fun map, big area to train in. Obviously I had Pack-a-Punch perks and everything like that. The Pentagon Thief was a ball ache, which is probably the reason why it's so low, because obviously if you spent all your time and all your points trying to get like a ray gun or something from the box and you miss a couple shots, it's just annoying because it takes your weapon. You can obviously get it back, but obviously you had the bonfire sale as well, which was quite cool, but again, it's just the size thing that I don't like. It's very corridory, it's very tiny. You had like 2 corridors at the top, essentially. You had the office room and the 2 corridors, let's face it, if we're talking about 5 not classified. Then you had the war room down below, which was one big circle, your training spot. And then you had the labs underneath, which were all, again, very corridory. So really, the only place people played in was the war room. But, you know, obviously it got redone in classified. Classified would probably come up into C tier, just because, like I said, the Groom Lake thing. And there's a bit more area in the war room. And you have certain things like on the teleport, it tells you where you're going to teleport to. It's not just pot luck. You don't have the Pentagon Thief. I think it's just a more fun map. But 5 obviously above transit, but still pretty low just for a size kind of thing. And next to 5, I'm actually going to put 9, and it's for the exact same reasons as this. It's literally the same. There's 4 big like kind of towers, let's say, and we got the big Colosseum thing in the middle and the Colosseum thing underneath. It is a size thing. Haven't tried the Easter egg on 9 yet. I know it's like what 2019. I still haven't done the Easter egg on any of the Black Ops 4 maps. I'm still trying to wait for my mate to do Blood of the Dead because I haven't seen anything of that cutscene, and he says I'm going to flip my shit when I see it. So 9, I do enjoy 9. I just personally don't enjoy 9. I know that makes no sense, but 9 is a good map for me, where if I have a good daily calling, like headshots or melee kills, because it's so open when you spawn, I'll do it on there straight away. I wouldn't sit down purposely and say let's play 9, because there's just nothing that grips me about the map, because it's just, you essentially have your 4 points and you circle in the middle, and that's it. So I'm like, obviously you got Pack-a-Punch room down below and things like that, and you have the Easter egg that I haven't tried, which may mean that my whole tier list is completely invalid just because I haven't done any of the Easter eggs. But from a gameplay perspective, 9 just gets very stale after, let's say, round 12, because you're just doing the same thing. And it's the same with like things like Kino and things like that, but I hold Kino dear to my heart. So 9, we'll go with 5. The difference is I would sit down and say let's play 5. I don't know if I said I wouldn't say that, but I would say let's play 5 because I do enjoy it. But with 9, I'd just say no. Like, I'll do the Easter egg, I'll do my calling, I'll level up on it like double XP or something. But unless I'm doing the Easter egg, I wouldn't sit down and say let's play 9 per se. And then C tier, let's have a look here. We're gonna go with I think I'm going to put Die Rise in here. I know, controversial, but Die Rise was really cool for me. It introduced that verticality. The Easter egg was a pain in the arse to do, but it was good when you did it. And the reason why this one is higher than this one is because I feel like this Easter egg had a bit more payoff than this one. On this one, you just, you struggle to do the Easter egg, and then once you've done the Easter egg, you struggle to continue playing. Whereas Die Rise, you can do the Easter egg and carry on playing. I don't actually, the only step I remember is melee in this thing and the Mahjong tiles, but I enjoyed this. There was a lot of fun times that you could have with like things like the Trample Steam, the Sliquifier, one of my all-time favourite Wonder Weapons. Absolutely love that. And obviously there's this big, I don't know if you can see very well on the recording because I've got like this area of space like over here somewhere, I believe. But there's this big area underneath the tower where it's just like kind of a wide corridor where it's fun to train in. So I do enjoy Die Rise. A lot of fun things in there. I think next to Die Rise, we're going to put Shinonuma. Yes, this is, kind of the same issue as these two, but this had an absolutely amazing atmosphere. It was fantastic. It was spooky. one thing that really creeped me out when I first played it was the radios. I tried showing them to my girlfriend the other day and she was like, turn them off because it's really freaking me out. This one terrified me. You had obviously all the start of the world building, so you had like Peter McCain hanging. This, if I believe correctly, was the first appearance of Tank Richtofen and that. So again, it's got to go up there. Introduction of the Wunderwaffe, random perk system. You also had environmental effects, so like you couldn't run through the water and things like that. I think dogs were in Verrucht, if I remember correctly, but this one is high because of just the sheer world building that went into this. I could sit down and play Shinonuma. It would get stale after a while, but it was so open as well. I could just play this map just for the world building. I could just go in and listen to all the radios and things like that. Now, controversial pick next. Next to Shinonuma, I'm actually going to put Zetsubu. I quite enjoy Zetsubu. I'm going to get that on the table now. I enjoy that just because it's... I don't know what it is about it. It's just... It's not as closed off as Shangri-La, but it's not as open as, let's say, something like Revelations, where you have all this space to train. Zetsubu, I can do the Easter egg. I've done the Easter egg many times on my own. It was a really good ending cutscene. The KT4 was essentially the same as the Slickfire, which I think is why I've put it next to Die Rise. Oh, there's a moth in my room. The upgrade quest for the KT4 again was a bit of a ball ache. Didn't like that. But there were so many cool things like watering the plants and getting the rainbow water, getting the golden bucket. I just quite enjoyed Zetsubu. The Skull and Subway was absolutely broken, and it was an easy task to do, which again I think is why it's so high. KT4, bit underpowered, bit overpowered, take it as you will. But then there was that awesome bit when you complete the Easter egg and you were in the elevator and all you had was the zombies coming from down there, allowed you to get to really high rounds. I did quite enjoy Zetsubu. I think it's a mix of Shinonuma and Transit for me. Like, I wouldn't sit down and say let's play Zetsubu, but I kind of would sometimes just for like nostalgia reasons, just to say like, oh well, I enjoyed like the look of this map or the aesthetic. The spider boss fight was awesome as well. That was such a cool little Easter egg to like hang in there. Just checking the time. Hang in there. The spider boss fight was cool to put in there, and of course it was something you needed to do for the KT4. So, and then next to these guys, I'm gonna pop Verrucht just because it was ingenious the way that you started in the two separate spawn rooms and then had to link up after you'd done the power, which was really cool. Yes, it is very small. Yes, you could kind of class it with Natch, how it's very small, very limited. All you had was box and perks. But again, on the same level of Shinonuma, it had that sense of world building. It had this sense of you are these 4 unnamed Marines in this insane asylum, killing zombies. And it kind of kick-started, after Natch, it kick-started that whole community idea of let's make this a thing, let's make this a world that we all interpret and play with. So really fun. I don't think there was on the Black Ops 1 version, I believe the Winter's Howl is in Verrucht, but other than that, it was really fun just to mess about with your mates on and freak each other out. And it was just a scary map, and I think I take scary maps over gameplay any time of the day. Like, if it can freak me out, I know I'm having a good time because I know I'm engrossed because I'm obviously being scared by it. So that's my C tier done. I think everything next to this is going to go upwards. Okay, so in B tier we're going to go with Kino. Very open map, not so much world building as the rest of them, but like I said, this has a very nostalgic place in my heart. This is really where my zombies career started. I spent 7 hours getting to like round 33 when I first started playing it because I didn't really know tactics and stuff. I had a Thunder Gun and an M16, and I did not use the Thunder Gun at all because I thought, why waste it, because I might need it soon. Obviously I can do better now. The screen thing was pretty cool when you found all the reels. Obviously Pack-a-Punch was pretty easy. You had this big open space to train in by the stage. And then obviously you had a couple radios. There was one in the chandelier, there was one outside, and I don't remember, I think that was it actually. But it was a cool little thing, and obviously you got to go to all the different rooms where you could teleport and things like that. So not an expansive map, but I've put it so high just because of nostalgia. I really enjoy playing Kino, and I can just, rock up into a Kino game and just play for hours. But I think on top of Kino, I'll have to put Revelations there, because I play in the Kino section of Revelations all the time. But I think Revelations is a really good map. I do really enjoy Revelations. It is just a nostalgia factor type thing, but the fact that it's so open, and the fact that we have Thundergun, Apothicon Servant, so many different options. Obviously we have the time trials with the melee weapons. Not a big fan of the spire things that you have to activate, but you know, it is what it is. This also introduced the hats, which I thought was quite cool. You get like kind of permanent perks that we used to see in Black Ops 2, but I enjoy Revelations. It's very, for me, aesthetically pleasing. Easter egg is... There's that moth again. Dude. Easter egg obviously was a ball ache to figure out, and it took so many steps to do it, but we got it done in the end. And again, if you've ever caught me on twitch.tv/GeneralGerbil, shameless plug, you'll know that I play Revelations a lot, just because it's a pretty easy map to get to high rounds. But I think the hype surrounding this map obviously killed it off, because it was just a mix-up of all the other maps. But for me, I'm putting it next to Kino, because obviously I spend Kino, the time in Revelations in Kino, so I just like the map anyway. So next to Kino, I think we're going to put our final B tier one, which will be Moon. I've done this Easter egg countless times, and I mean countless. I think my mate has it over like 40 something times he's done this Easter egg. I just enjoy this map. I'm putting it at B. It's short and sweet. You've got a big area to train in the biodome, not hard to do at all. You have a reason to leave your training spot with the excavator. You have things like the hacker and the PES, which are like kind of new equipment that you have to use, and you could like change the way the game was played, like hacking the ammos and hacking the max ammos, and hacking the wall ammos, hacking the box, hacking perks. And it was cool to have that Area 51 at the start, where you could just rack up points and things like that. A lot of hours spent in Moon. I don't think it deserves higher than B, just because, like a lot of these maps down here, it does get stale after a while. If you do the Easter egg and you got your permanent perks, which is another reason why it's so high, and you are going to like round 40, at round like 25, you'll just think the only reason why I'm really leaving is to stop the excavator or just to get more ammo. So I'm not going to move this higher. I do love this map to the bottom of my heart, but I don't think it deserves any higher than B. So A tier, we're going to go with everybody's favourite Dreisendrach. Not putting it on S, because I don't think this is a perfect map. I personally feel like Dreisendrach is very overrated. The Easter egg is cool, yes. The bows are cool, yes. But I just think when you're playing solo, you're going to get the storm bow, you're going to get another powerful weapon, and then you're just going to train up by the Wonder Fizz, by the one pack punch location. It's very cool. I'm not undermining it at all. If you like Dreisendrach, please feel free to continue liking it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I just think it's not a perfect map. And even the maps I'm going to put in S tier, I don't feel like they're perfect either, but I just feel like Dreisendrach for me just doesn't click with me. I don't know if it's the setting or anything like that, or the fact that there's this computer in there, and I'm not sure. I just don't think it's a perfect map, but I think it deserves high, because I do enjoy playing Dreisendrach, and obviously the bows are really fun to use. I think if it weren't for the bows, this map would be way lower, to be quite honest. But the bow steps are really cool as well. That's a little bit of world building in there. Next to Revelations, I have done this before, by the way, and I do have a picture of it here. I'm not trying to like con anyone, it's just I couldn't remember what order I put them in, because I was having a little mess about with it. So next to Revelations, I'm going to pop Grodkrovi. This, I'd pick Grodkrovi over Dreisendrach. I would genuinely. Raygun Mark III for one. The dragons are a cool kind of thing. The Dragon Strike Grenade is a really cool quest, the way you have to go into lockdown in the building. The pack punch itself is really cool. Yes, you can't complete the Easter egg, fair enough, but the specialist weapon is a little dragon on your freaking arm. Grodkrovi as well holds a sentimental place in my heart, because that's where I first started to actually grow my YouTube channel. Obviously I've been doing videos on maps before this, but I released a video about challenges in my in Grodkrovi and how to do them. It got a lot of views, and I did the whole thing about the skulls and the flower, how we could pick up the flowers before we knew it was for the monkey bomb, and that got like 8,000 views, and it blew up. So that holds a sentimental place in my heart. But the boss fight as well in Grodkrovi was quite cool. You could go into that big open area, and you had to fight Nikolai, and you had like wraps and missiles and things that you have to shoot. I do really enjoy just the aesthetic of Grodkrovi as well, which is why it's so high. I struggle to play it solo though, just because it takes a while to set up on it, but I really enjoy it. I'm going to pop it there. Next, I'm going to put Blood of the Dead. I don't think this was as good as Mob of the Dead, and that's like controversial, I know. I'm actually going to pop Mob of the Dead up into S tier, because I know it's going to go there, just so I can bounce off each other. So Mob of the Dead, yes, it was more closed, and Blood of the Dead was more open, and we had more things to look at in Blood of the Dead, but I don't feel Blood of the Dead had that sense of world building that Mob of the Dead did. Obviously, after completing the Zetsubu Easter egg, we knew that they went to Alcatraz to get the blood. Again, disclaimer, I haven't done the Easter egg, so I don't know what happens in it, so that's why that might be why it's the difference between S and A tier, but I don't know what happens in that regard. But I just feel in Mob of the Dead, it was cool when you did that Easter egg and you could hear that audio tour, and you could hear the guard, and you could hear, you know, the story about these 4 prisoners who were stuck in purgatory, and they had to, like, kill the weasel, and that's why they're there, and things like that. And it was cool to do that Easter egg and listen to all that. Whereas I think Blood of the Dead is a lot... I think it suffers from the same kind of thing as, like, a lot of the Black Ops 3 maps, where things are just introduced in the Easter egg that just don't make sense to me. Like, we have to... there's, like, a ghost step where you have to... protect a ghost and things like that, and like Morse code and things like that. Like, I get it from an Easter egg standpoint, you want to make it hard, you want to make it challenging, but from a storytelling standpoint, it doesn't have that kind of je ne sais quoi as Mob of the Dead did, because there were lots of things you could do that I don't know what you could have done, but there were lots of things you could have done with the Blood of the Dead Easter egg that gave it that bigger sense of world building. Like, for example, the bird step where you have to spirit blast the bird. I don't understand the relevance of the bird. Whereas in Mob of the Dead, we had things like, you know, like I said, the audio tour and putting the prisoners' numbers into the shock thing. Like, it was really cool. I do enjoy Blood of the Dead, don't get me wrong. And obviously things like the Magma Gat and that, but I just don't enjoy it as much as Mob of the Dead, personally. I don't know why. But I feel like that's the way around that I'm going to put them. And then next to Blood of the Dead, I'm going to put Ascension. Very nostalgic. First DLC I ever bought for a zombies game. This was back before I even bought the World at War ones. It was cool with the black and white into colour, but the main reason why it's so high is the introduction of the main cutscene, not the cutscene, the Easter egg, sorry. Like, majority world building in this map was phenomenal. No one knew when we first loaded into the map that man saying, "Please help me, she's coming." That was Dr. Gersh, and it was cool how we kind of all pieced together the kind of steps to the Easter egg, so major props to this. And it's a fun map to play, it's really cool. The amount of conspiracies that went around about this map, like if you have a death machine and you stand on the platform for like 90 seconds after you've done it, you know, you get a wonder off. Cool Easter egg steps as well, like when you have to shoot the ballistic knife and stand still. Really freaking cool. I like Ascension a lot. But not a perfect map for me. Again, a bit too closed off, very limited, easy to camp in the Pack-a-Punch room. But it's alright, it's a decent map. I would genuinely sit down and play Ascension. Now, my next one I'm a bit confused about, because when I did this prior, I put Voyage of Despair here. I did this because of the aesthetic. I like that kind of time period, and I like the kind of 1940s Titanic vibe or whenever it was. However, I recently replayed Voyage of Despair. I didn't go for the Easter egg or anything. Just played the map. And I think I'm actually going to move this one down to, like, here. Just because I feel like it's a very, very confusing map. When I was playing it, I didn't get the Wonder Weapon again. It might change the like outcome of the map, but I didn't get the Wonder Weapon. And I just struggled to get around the map, and then that hindered my experience because I didn't know how to do Pack-a-Punch. I was really confused where to go, things like that. Again, it's probably because I didn't play it as much as like Blood of the Dead on release and Classified, but I'm just no, thank you. I think I'll skip Voyage of Despair, thank you. And the cutscene, I did watch it because I don't really care about the Chaos story, but it's really weak personally, so I'll skip Voyage of Despair. Not much to say about it, but I did put it up here, but I believe it's in C. It's not. I don't think it's quite an A tier map. And then A tier, finally, we're going to go with Doris. Obviously, the homeboy, everyone's favourite. Really fun to play on. Clever with the Pack-a-Punch system, Linky 3 teleporters, Wonder Waff and everything like that. And obviously, Beauty of Annihilation, the remix and the original. Perfect. So that's gonna be my A tier. Which obviously means that without Ancient Evil and Dead of Night, which means this is my S tier. Just like that. Shadows of Evil, let's start going backwards because we've discussed Mob of the Dead. Shadows of Evil, like I just said, love that time period. I love the colours in Shadows of Evil, the oranges and the reds and everything like that. Cool story. It was essentially just Mob of the Dead, but dude, this moth. It was essentially just Mob of the Dead, but I think that's the reason why I've popped it in the same kind of thing. Because it is essentially basically the same map, just different weapons and different setting. You do obviously have the link of the Icarus going across the top of the sky. Origins, what can I say about Origins that hasn't already been said? You know, STUFFZ, cool Easter egg, controversial cutscene, crazy place, fun place to train. Call of the Dead, hands down one of the best maps for me. Cool wonder weapons, cool cameos, really cool Easter egg. The fact that you play as 4 different people, that you meet the Aether crew and you have to help them, that's really cool. I love that. Really hoping we see a remaster of that sometime soon. And Buried, the music was sick. It was cool to run up and down on all these tunnels. The witch mechanism with the points, where you could lose them if you got hit and things like that. Cool pack-a-punch. Ideas that you could draw your own guns on the wall was cool. Leroy was really fun to mess about with. The bank, the weapons locker, the Easter egg where you went around infinity was so good. I don't know, there's just so much stuff I could say about Buried, which I think makes it a really good map, but I think all in all, that's my zombie tier list. I don't think I'd change any of those if I could. Obviously, I don't know about these two because I've only messed about on this one, haven't played Ancient Evil at all. So, let me know if you agree with me down in the comment section below. Please don't rag me too hard for putting things where I did, but other than that, I've been GeneralGerbil. Peace out.